Hey, y'all, welcome to another episode of the Late Night Vision Show. We are on location, y'all. We've actually been doing this quite a bit lately. This isn't our first one here in a while, but we are back at the Cellmark Ranch, and we got a special guest with us, a new face to the show. Probably will not be the last time you see him, but Jason, why don't you go ahead and introduce our guest today?
Well, it may not be the last time. If we scare him off today, then it might be.
This might be his first and last. No.
Maybe the first and last. We'll see. We have Mr. Chris French with us. He is from Cellmark, and Cellmark is a name that is very common to a lot of folks, our viewers, listeners, right here in the night hunting community. Cellmark is known for a lot of the brands that they have under their umbrella. Sightmark, Kofjaeger, fantastic tripods, Firefield, Bullet Safe. They're the U.S. distributors for Pulsar. So there's just a lot of brands. But today we've got some big news. Chris, first, before we get to that, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
This is going to be a good time.
Yeah, glad that you're here. So, guys, listen, you didn't just come here to look at these three great-looking guys. I mean, it's the cross that we bear. But let's talk about, I know you've got some news for us today under that Cellmark umbrella of a lot of quality brands that the night hunting community is familiar with. You've got a new brand coming, and tell us who and what that is.
This has been 2 or 3 years in the making now, but we're excited to announce and launch our Dark 30 brand.
Okay, Dark 30.
So, when you talk about launching a new brand, a lot of times, Jason, you and I just see the end result, the announcement, or the product that they come, and we do have something to talk about and show here that we've been fortunate enough to get to Tesla for a little bit. But Chris, like you said, there's several years of investment in this research and development. It's not just, coming out with a brand new product and, hey, just throwing it up against the wall to see if it works. And those of you that watch and listen to the show, you know that Jason and I and Outdoor Legacy aren't very quick to, pick up new brands. It's not something that we do. A lot of times we want to make sure that it's tested and tried. But, under the Cellmark umbrella that you talked about, we are very common with a lot of household names in the hunting industry with what you're talking about and what you got. Tell us a little bit about Dark 30 and also, what we're here to talk about today.
Well, we are here to talk about Dark 30 and the Defiance itself, our new PTZ camera, our flagship PTZ unit. But Dark 30 is the culmination of almost 20 years in the thermal and night vision game. Dark 30 with this PTZ unit is solving a problem for customers that we haven't been able to solve in the past, and we are excited to, through multiple years of development, through using gentlemen like yourselves, testing this unit, getting it out with plenty of other end users, getting out a product that our customers are wanting, something that they're needing, and something that we have very proudly been able to not manufacture in-house, but come up with, design to our specifications, to our customers' needs.
Yeah, so one thing that I want to say is, I know that Hans brought it up, and Chris, you've said it, but there's years that go into this. I'll tell you this, 1 year ago, almost to the week, we were at Cellmark 1 year ago testing, getting to demo the prototype of this unit a year ago. And I think that that's something that most of us that are outside of the manufacturing and the distribution of anything, really, we don't, even as us as dealers, we sell a lot of optics, but over the years, forming relationships with companies like Cellmark and getting some of this kind of behind the scenes, I just don't think that the average consumer can appreciate what it takes going in, not just the dollar investment, but the research, the development, the prototype, the testing, the going, nope, this doesn't work, throw that away. Nope, we need to do this. We need to start over.
That has happened multiple times already.
Yeah, exactly. And so, again, I just was thinking about that 1 year ago.
Yeah, 1 year ago.
We're testing that thing. I mean, and it was a prototype, and that wasn't brand new. Y'all had been working on it for a long time then. And so it takes a lot. But we're talking about it. So we've kind of talked about who this brand is. One of the things that I wanted, before we move on, I want to say that Hans mentioned, whenever there is new brands, we are usually very slow to jump in and say, yeah, we're behind this brand. But when it comes from the familiar face, the familiar company that we know these people, we know who they are, they've been in this industry for a very long time. Well, I'll say this. I've been doing this over a decade, and the first company that I ever became a dealer for was under the Cellmark, umbrella. So I've been dealing with y'all for over a decade. I know who you are. I know the customer service, the dedication to quality products that Cellmark and all their brands have. So for us, this is just one more brand under that umbrella, and we're excited about it. I do know that y'all spend a lot of time talking to not just us and other dealers, but as you said, end users, hunters, about what can we do, different things. And we're going to get into some of that, but everybody's here tired of hearing me ramble. Tell us, what is this unit? What's it called? What's it going to do? Tell us a little bit about it.
First, I'm going to tell you what it wasn't called. So
This sounds like a good story.
Yes. So kind of along the PTZ lines, pan, tilt, zoom. It was PTC, and the idea of this is sitting up on top of whatever, your truck, your UTV, whatever. It's high up. It can look 360 degrees forever, just looking around. The pantsless thunder chicken is another name, or
That
kind
is
of a
the new
slang
name.
for the ostrich.
It will be out on several Facebook forums now.
Yes, that was one of the runners up for
Pantsless thunder chicken.
it. Would have had my vote if I was tossing my vote in
yeah.
there. But
Okay, so I was fortunate, Jason, you and I were fortunate to get this pretty far in advance. We've been playing with it, testing it. I've had it most recently. And I want to go back to something you said that's very important. This is a new name, but these aren't new people. This isn't a new necessarily company. The people behind it we're very familiar with. So I'm glad you brought that up when you said that. So this, as you can see, y'all, this is I hope you can see it on camera. This, obviously, you can refer to it as a vehicle mounted thermal, a side by side. You're putting it up. It has the ability to scan 360 degrees. I had it mounted on the top of my truck, but this is something. Oh, let me ask you this: who needs this PTZ? Who is the right person?
I'm pausing this because you didn't tell us the real name. We got what it's not called. What's it
Oh,
really
yeah.
called? Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
it is the Defiance, and this is the Defiance 640.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
We got the Defiance 6. Now we can tell us.
We can move. Yeah. So
who
who needs the Defiance 640? Who is this going to be best served for?
So everybody has, if you've hunted with any thermals for any period of time, you've run into the problem of you're driving or doing your scanning, and you either have a gun sticking out your window and you have not 60 or so degrees field of view. If you're hunting with a buddy, they have the other side. You can't see behind you. You can't see anything like that. If you have a handheld, it's a little easier. Doing this number while you're driving is a little hard.
Been there, done that. Yeah.
So this is for the users who want to have something that it has a little bit higher vantage point. As you can see, up in a little bit taller grass, things of that nature, over smaller hills and such. And then also with the use of the remote, you can see 360 degrees all the way around. You're not pointing your gun everywhere. You're not missing field of view in certain directions.
And the point that you just made about the hill, one of the guys here that's at the ranch with us today was talking about using that on the side by side, and was looking at hogs over the next hill, meaning this was high enough to see over the hill, but the hogs couldn't see them. They couldn't, so you've got a higher vantage point.
So whether you're hunting out of a vehicle, obviously driving around, if you're covering a lot of ground, if you need to be able to, if you are like me and you like not getting out of your truck when it's 20 or 30
when it's nice and warm and cozy.
But there's a lot of you out there that cover a lot of ground, and you are blessed that you do have a lot of acreage that you can scan in one night, whether you're doing coyote hunting tournaments and you're spotting for coyotes or hogs or whatever you're doing. And honestly, if we're going there, there's a lot more applications outside of the hunting realm that we could see this being important to. But being able to scan at night, cover a lot of area, and really give you the advantage of not having to leave your vehicle or your side by side to go out and stock up on hogs, or seeing something out there and like, oh gosh, I need to go out there a little bit further and see what it is. It does, run down the specs for us a little bit, maybe some of the things that it comes with. I'm going to show the box here if we can get this, because this is what it came in. I don't know what percentage of this is actually in the video that made it, but a very nice hard shell case. I know when I got mine, obviously it comes with the thermal itself. Tell us a little bit about the specs on it and what the accessories it comes with.
So just some of the accessories. To start, the mounting. How is it going to get mounted? You're putting it on your whatever F-150, your side by side, a golf cart, whatever you're using. We do have suction cups.
That thing is super sticky, y'all, because it's got suction but you don't see it. It's very sticky, and I put it on top of my truck, and I'm like getting it off. It's on there. It's not going anywhere. You can roll down the road and fly, and you don't have to worry about that thing going anywhere. I promise you that.
So we have 100-pound magnets. It is, when you have 4 of these magnets on top of anything that it can magnetize to, it is kind of a pain to get it off. But, again, like you're saying, driving down the road, just a random, one of the specs, we are IP66 rated. You don't have to worry about driving down the highway with this, whether it's raining, sleet, snow, any of that. One of the cool features to kind of get away from the mounting real quick is you can take where you're looking and you can turn it down or you can turn it backwards, and you can leave it there to where you don't have your lens and everything pointed into, I don't know, birds, debris, whatever you might be hitting.
So if you're driving down the road at 60 miles an hour going to the next property, you may not want that thermal lens pointed out in front of you, catching everything from the road. You turn it around while you're driving or point it down. That way you're not worried about rocks or bugs or anything like that hitting that thermal lens. So yeah, that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up as well.
But also, you mentioned the magnets, you mentioned the suction cups, but you could, if you're leaving it there or whatever, you can screw it.
You can. We are going to tell you to seek semi-professional help or professional help. We have a great group of guys who we're doing instructional videos and everything with to provide that resource that's going to live on our YouTube channel. As soon as you open the box, that resource is going to be there for y'all to scan the QR code to not only get to those videos and things, but warranty information, registering it, all of that stuff. But yes, it does come with the mounting screws to permanently affix the base, not necessarily the thermal itself, because you can remove the thermal, which the magnet in this to this is very strong itself. But yes, you can remove that and you can have a permanent base. Extra bases are for sale. They will be for sale. So if you wanted to have 3 vehicles with a permanent base installed on it, you could do something like that
or even, making sure I'm explaining this correctly, but the same thing with the magnets or the suction cups. You could still, if you didn't permanent put on, you could still take off the thermal unit itself and leave that on.
Yes, if you were running into the store or anything like that, just quick unscrew it.
Take it off.
Not pop it off. It is a strong magnet connecting it to the base.
So tell us some of the specs real quick. I know it's a 640. We got
640. It has a 60 hertz refresh rate.
Okay.
So pretty standard in the industry. In there.
Driving down the road, going 50 or 60 miles an hour, it was keeping up with the driving. There wasn't it didn't seem like any type of lag or delay. So that was really good to see, because a lot of people, it's one of the things they worry about with something like this. Is it gonna be able to keep up? Is it going to be sticky or drag or anything like that? And it seemed to be pretty smooth.
Yeah, personally, driving it at night, no lights, I've got up to about 40 miles an hour or so down some straight stretches here at the ranch. No recommendations on speed, obviously, but we were doing product testing, and we're going to go to a little extremes out there. Sign the waivers.
So it is a 640. Is that 640 a 12 or 17 micron?
It is a 17 micron and a sub 30 millikelvin.
Gosh, that's great. And so I just went.
I know it comes with a
warranty. Is what I was going to ask. What's the warranty?
Warranty 5 years. Pretty standard in the industry. Yeah.
So it seemed one of the things that I really liked about it, it does come with its own screen. So, you can mount that in your vehicle. It had some mounting brackets that you could use to mount the screen.
So
inside.
with the screen itself, you're gonna have an articulating arm. You'll have a separate suction cup and also kind of like a roll bar or a bar mount as well.
Yeah.
It has
with
a
remote.
yes, sir. Comes with the remote. If you lose the remote for whatever reason, it will have extra remotes. You can then order it. Very easy pairing with the remotes too. But comes with a screen. So that is, one of our kind of defining things as well. It's a very user-friendly, out-of-the-box setup. You plug in a couple HDMI cords. Currently, right now, pan tilt zoom market, we are the only HDMI certified PTZs. So that's out there. Any HDMI cord you want to rip it off the TV or something, whatever you want to, you can use.
Yeah, and I know for power supply, it just goes into we call them cigarette lighters, but what do they call them? I don't even know what they call them.
Yeah.
Is it even for cigarettes anymore?
Yeah,
it's showing our age, but yeah, the cigarette lighter in your truck or whatever is what I used. We've got a separate battery, a big battery that's got a couple of those in it, so you just plug it in. But the setup on it seemed really easy to plug in. We like to not try to use manuals, not because we're
men
smart, because
we're
men and a little bit lazy. But no, getting it set up was no problem at all. I did find it very easy as far as just the everyday using it, switching. Once we found out how to switch the color palettes, doing that, zooming, it's got a nice little flywheel on the, I guess what you call it, on the remote.
Do you want to pull the remote out of the box? I don't know why I forgot the remote. I mean,
live videos.
Oh, first time on the podcast, man, just forgetting everything.
Now we're digging for remotes.
Should be right here on the left side.
There it is. All right. Okay.
So, yes, we do have our zoom here at the front, home button, screen. I say screen. It's got the little camera icon on there, so you can go from video, you can go to pictures. It does take a micro SD card, so.
Yeah, it does the micro. I did get out there and I forgot to put the micro SD card in. Went to go video and it didn't work. So the micro SD card goes right in there in the front part, if you can see, and then the plugins for the power supply and the HDMI right down here. So really, I mean, again, most people, the biggest concern when you talk about something like this or even a thermal scope is like, how hard is it going to be to operate? How hard is it going to be to set up? I'm going to tell you this. If you're in a market for one of these, you're probably more experienced with thermal. This isn't your first thermal optic. Typically, if you're buying something like this, you've already got a scope. You've already got a monocular. You know how to use that. This is not going to be difficult at all to figure out. I mean, if you can zero a thermal scope, you can put this together and have it together in a few minutes. I promise you that.
And again, we'll have resources for the few that would like to seek them out.
There'll be some people for security reasons and things that maybe not
double check.
User. Yeah.
So you got to see some thermal video through the optic. I'm kind of rolling that as we go. We'll be doing some more and having some more information on.
Question that I've got that everybody's going to want to know is, realistically, when are we going to see this come into the market?
Mid-October.
All right.
Mid-October.
So
2024. I'll put a year on it.
Put a year on
Yes,
it, man.
Do you have an approximate price, or can we talk about that right now?
For this in the 640 configuration, 6,500.
65.
All right, very good.
Job. So that comes with the mounting equipment, comes with the screen, the remote, everything you need right out of the box. And that is for that to come out under Dark 30, your first optic. That's kind of big. You're going out very big. So
yes, sir.
Where does it go from here? I mean, we got this. Where does Dark 30, other than Defiance 640, where are we going on moving forward with different products and optics and all that?
For Dark 30 in the Defiance category, it is it's obvious of other sensor capabilities, up and down from 640. Our bread and butter in the industry is on the hunting side of things. Yeah. So thermal, binoculars, rifle scopes. Okay. It is not out of the realm of possibility to have certain units that come out that fit certain needs, that we do not have in the market currently.
Okay. So what you're saying is that You're trying to fill gaps. You're trying to do things.
We're listening to the customer. We're trying to take feedback from y'all, dealers, end users, everything, and put out products that fit those needs.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And like you said, we were there at Cellmark a year ago when y'all were just kind of just like getting the
Barely
prototype.
teasing.
Yeah,
barely.
the prototype was there, and got to see a little bit and work it a little bit, but to see the final product right before release and get the chance to play with it, very impressive. I'm looking forward to see where we go from here. Well, you talked about filling in the gaps in different products and binoculars and scopes, because there's a lot of people out there that see and hear about new brands all the time, and there's always a question of, is it worth looking into here, and is it worth looking at this brand new brand that just popped up? But with Dark 30 and then the umbrella of companies that you have behind it, and you've been focused in the hunting market for so long, I know that people are going to feel very comfortable right out the gate coming at least and wanting more information about what you're doing. So we would love moving forward to talk about any new products. So anything that you have moving forward, we'd love for you to come. Open invitation.
That's right.
If you do want to come back, we'd like to have you on board again.
I mean, there is a running tally of who has the top spot as
This
a
is an
featured guest on the
that's
podcast.
right.
This is an
There-
unpaid
Yeah, that's right.
guest
spot.
guest
Unpaid
spot.
intern over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let me ask this. So we've talked about who Dark 30 is. We've talked about, our relationship over the years. We've got a new optic, the Defiance 640. Excited about that. We're also talked about you've got more things coming. I know you're teasing that. But
Yes, sir.
in the meantime, besides just, which I mean, again, we know these things are going to hit dealer shelves, will be available, Outdoor Legacy, all your other dealer network, a lot of good dealers across the country. But in the meantime, if people want to keep up with Dark 30, they want to see what y'all are doing, new releases, find out those things, where do they need to look to find y'all? Where are you at online?
So we'll be on YouTube. Search Dark 30. Over on Instagram, Dark 30 Official. I actually run social media, email marketing, multiple things over here. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Comments, DMs, anything, social at dark30.com. If you would like to sign up for the newsletter, that's where you're going to get the first information of anything of new releases, product in stock, everything. Email newsletter is going to be the first to
Quick
get that.
question. When people are searching, is it Dark 30 the number?
It is 30. Yes, sir.
That's
Yes,
important
sir.
because sometimes if you type that out, you might not find them. So yeah, Dark 30, Dark
Yes,
30
sir.
on all the
Dark
social
30.
medias.
Yes, sir.
All right, that is excellent.
Yeah, thank you, Jason. You're so good at attention to detail. Like
It's-
that. I never even thought of that. Like
Well,
30.
I'm that old man over there on Facebook and Instagram.
How do you spell
can't find
30?
anything.
Yeah.
how do you
And
spell-
it's not 0 Dark 30. We've had that one.
That's
It's
probably
just
come up a
Dark
few times.
30.
Yes, sir.
Sure, that is trademarked somebody.
Okay.
Well, thank y'all. As always, if you want to find out more information, go to the places that Chris just told you. I don't want to tell you wrong, but we are glad that you joined us again for another episode of the Late Night Vision Show. Also, I got to give us a plug a little bit. If you're looking for a brand new night vision or thermal optic, or even the Defiance 640, give us a call. OutdoorLegacyGear.com is the website. You can call us at 877-350-1818. You can talk to at least 2 of the 3 people on the show
Right.
today.
Right.
Chris, we're not going to make you take
I'll give you an
calls.
extension.
Yeah.
I mean,
Don't
maybe
tell Jason that because you might
the unpaid intern might turn into something.
Yeah,
You never know.
so we are glad to be able to help you decide on new optic, and whether it's this brand new Defiance 640 vehicle mounted or PTZ as y'all call it, we would love to talk to you about anything that you have or you might be thinking of. Jason, find out all of our past episodes, the latenightvision.show.com. You can find us on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. You can find me at Hans ETX on YouTube. I'm doing our regular show
You
outro,
are.
and that,
You are.
Instagram, Facebook,
That's
anywhere.
right. So here's the thing, guys. You're here, the Late Night Vision Show. We want this to be your source for information, breaking news, reviews, all that stuff here in the industry. We're very thankful for companies like
Can I
Dark
speak
30.
on this?
No, you cannot.
Y'all's show is exceptional. I love it. It's been a great resource for me. I have shot with digital night vision and thermal for coming up to a decade now. And, you know, researching new products, everything in the industry, y'all are a go-to source for me personally.
Thank you.
So, I mean, it's honor to hop on here,
Yeah.
talk about Dark 30 and what we have coming out.
Okay, so maybe a paid position. This guy, we're getting.
See, I tried.
Exactly, try. No. So again, thank y'all guys. We hope you enjoyed this podcast. Stick around for all the latest and breaking news right here on the Late Night Vision Show.